Welcome to another Wisdom Wednesday. Over the last few weeks, we've discovered a lot about wisdom. In short, it is less about our knowledge and more about trusting God. But it isn't always that easy. As the last two Facebook Live videos, thanks to Caroline, have pointed out, even as Christians, we're still human and prone to the same difficulties as anyone else. As a result, it's often easy to let our emotions determine and affect our decisions. We should know better though, shouldn't we? After all, we have something that not everyone else has. We have Jesus and the presence of the Holy Spirit. Our relationship with Him allows us the opportunity to see things from a different perspective. That does not mean we will always understand what God is doing. Sorry, I think I read that wrong. That doesn't mean we will always understand what God is doing. We won't. We may not understand until we see Him face to face. After all, remember what it says in Isaiah 55, 8-9. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Wake up, page down, go to sleep. You may ask, what makes God's perspective so different? His thoughts are far more superior than ours, which are inherently evil. Not only that, but Jesus can see the bigger picture, whereas we cannot. Because we are humans, we are limited in our thinking. God, however, is not. His plan for humanity is something people would have never imagined. The same is true for our futures. I want to share a short story of God's providence during my recent trip to Michigan and back home again. Although we had activities planned, many of my favorite activities were unplanned. One of them was a community art fair. This fair featured various art forms, such as self-watering windmill contraptions made of metal and traditional forms of artwork. As my dad and I passed by one art tent, I couldn't help but be fascinated by a small painting of a simple pink rose. It turned out I wasn't the only one. The only one, as it was the artist. Wake up, page down, go to sleep. As it was Aaron's, the artist's favorite. As you probably may have guessed, I ended up buying the painting, which now hangs in my bedroom. But that's not what the most amazing coincidence. You see, the artist has a grandson with a disability, but unlike me, he is unable to talk or communicate. I hope her interaction with me gave her hope for her grandson's future. Yes, he will always be limited, but he can still bring joy into his family's life, no matter what. The artist was delighted to meet me and thankful that I loved her rose. We were both delighted. God's ways are indeed higher than ours, and we are blessed as He guides us in His way. That's it for today's Wisdom Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did telling you about my experiences in Michigan. Drop me a note and let me know how God's providence has worked in your life. Remember, I love you, but God loves you more. This is Roland W. signing out. Bye. Minimize window. Close window. Press spacebar.